Congressman Weiner. Look at the title.
That changes the whole game.
I mean, if that was my daughter, 20, even 21 years old, today's headline would be Congressman Weiner is missing.
Yeah. Right. No, I agree.
Would you want this guy as
underage girls? It totally changes the game. Then it's
would you want?
Would you? It's a legal issue. Then it's.
Would you want this guy as a neighbor if you had kids?
No.
Because he's preying on people. He's using his power to prey on women, on young women.
I wouldn't have thought that until I found out about the high school girls.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the high school girls is interesting because this stuff kind of leaked out a while ago. And then the girls said that it didn't happen. And then this, I think it was about, what was it? What did it say? Tight cape and was that what was on there? He said, I'm wearing a tight cape and he said that to other women. So it means that...
He said that?
Yeah, he said that. They were talking about...
I thought you were making a joke.
No. He was saying something about being a superhero and wearing a cape and a tight something and what, but he kept saying... He swore during it. Go ahead.
This whole thing, to me, begs the question, what do you have to do in this country to garner the disfavor of the American... Do you have to dismember a baby seal on YouTube? Do you have to blowtorch a Jack Russell Terrier? I mean, what do you have to do?
You know what the irony of it is? If it involved animals, yes.
It'd be different.
But human beings, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
But no, again, I can't stand the sexual moralizing of it. I am a polyamorous nudist in my free time.
You are. I'm so proud of you.
I want to work the conversation like on the national sense to just... You don't want a politician who makes terrible decisions in a crisis.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one reason. What was the name of the Republican who
we can't remember.
They got rid, the Boehner guy.
Yeah, we can't remember his name. Something.
Look, but you know what? And you know what? The Republicans.
Christopher Lee.
The Republicans took the temperature and they booted him. And you know that was
fast.
That was fast. That was political.
Boehner, and the thing is, the leader is supposed to be like, you are a liability. Get the F out. That's what you got to do, man or woman. You got to say get out.
Well, maybe that's the problem with the Democratic Party right now is that they don't have balls.
Yes, and why is that?
The unicorn.
It's a ball.
All right.
I don't know why. Greg.
I think we got to take a break. Wow, that was fun. All right. So what's it like to be cuter than a bucket of puppies and kittens? We discuss Anna Gilligan's new book, I'm Cuter Than a Bucket of Puppies and Kittens. But first, if the economy is in the tank, is Obama walking the plank? That's a metaphor about losing an election, people. He's not really walking a plank. Not even. Is the Big Apple the Big Crapple? Well, according to a study by George Mason University, go Tar Heels, New York is the least free state in the Union, which I think means America. Also considered unfree, New Jersey, California, the tiny island nation of Hawaii, and Massachusetts, which is that thing located somewhere up there in the corner that no one goes to. As for the freest, well, the Granite State is really great. That's New Hampshire topping the list. South Dakota, Indiana, Idaho, and Missouri, all actual states, rounded out the top 5. The study authors measured both economic and personal freedom, looking at things like bans on foods, audio recordings of police, drug laws, gun laws, and tax levels. They surmise, quote, Americans are voting with their feet and moving to states with more economic and personal freedom, and that economic freedom correlates with income growth. For more, let's go to Bill Schultz heading home late last night. He's actually getting better, but he'll be here. He'll be back on Monday. I got to go, Carl. You are from one of these states, New Hampshire. Actually, the state that was voted most free. Can you support that statement?
Yes.
Yes?
In a nutshell.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a second-generation New Hampshire native, and I'm glad that we've been deemed the freest state. I'm not sure what that means or what the qualifications are. But yeah, there's a streak of independence in New Hampshire. It's one of the few states where our state government people get paid $100 a year, so you can't be a corrupt politician in New Hampshire because there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, they're slowly getting tainted by the influx of Massachusetts people moving to New Hampshire to avoid the income tax.
Yeah.
And then inflicting their Massachusetts politics upon us.
But luckily, people like you own firearms, and you stay at the border and just pick them off.
We can't pick them all off, Greg. That's the problem. You know, it's like a herd of caribou. You can do pretty good, but you're not going to get every one. But they come up and they do things like one guy tried to outlaw helium balloons in New Hampshire. You know, come on.
What are you going to do, float away?
Exactly.
Come on. No, I guess you can't float with helium. Matt, is New York, you know, we live in New York. It's the greatest city, Manhattan, but it is a nanny state.
It is, and so is New Jersey. They both are. Yeah. And really, from a financial standpoint, they could be in trouble because at some point in time, people can't afford. I mean, you get a closet here for $1 million, and then they tax the hell out of you. You can't even go out and have beers anymore, and beer costs you $8. So eventually, they're going to drive people away. Yeah. They're going to move up with Carl to New Hampshire. I don't know why the hell you want to live in New Hampshire, but eventually, I mean, they're going to drive people to New Hampshire
because he has a barn, and God knows what he does in that barn. And here's my theory. New York and California have the highest percentage of people who think they know better. Is that fair to say?
Probably. but the thing, this study, it's like a very nice idea. It's a very American idea. More freedom equals more happiness. But I just think it's kind of rubbish because they don't prove it at all. And I think that they're really discounting people in the lower socioeconomic classes, because like one of the reasons New York is lower on this is because we have transportation taxes, and South Dakota is great. But if you don't have a car, I'm gonna guess that you would be more happy in New York City with the subway than you would be in South Dakota. Like, there's all kinds of other factors that they're just not looking at
The
here.
subway in South Dakota is terrible.
we only have 7 cars in the whole state of New Hampshire, so that can't be true.
And 6 people are living in them.
Exactly.
No, I love New Hampshire. I've never been there, actually. Hey, John, go ahead and make fun of the Idaho and Missouri and South Dakota. Go ahead.
The booming population centers?
Yes.
The cultural mega metropolises. This is a politically biased report, right?
Yeah, of course.
Completely and totally.
That's why we're covering it.
Okay, I just want to make sure that there is no political bias that determines that freedom and the definition of freedom is low taxes. No,
I like your role on this show because you came out and you checked it, and I affirmed
I'm fact-checking you. I am fact-checking. I'm keeping you honest.
No, here's the way I look at it. The states that were #1 in freedom are like these. Have large wildernesses, small it's where you can hide. Freedom means where you can hide. They can't find you.
Are you sure the study wasn't sponsored by those states?
It might have been.
Be like, honey, we're moving to Idaho.
But see, everybody, you know, it's funny though. Let's face it. When people are thinking about crisis, when they go, "That's it, I'm out of here. I'm moving to," they never say New York. They never say. They always go, "I'm out of here. I'm going to Utah. I'm going to Idaho," because you know that there's a sense, a psychology of freedom there. That when you get to New York, even though in New York, for deviant personalities like Anna, you can get away with anything. You can get away with things.
I'm not the one who lives in the Times Square area.
Yeah, that's like that is true.
The center of it all.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that you would get away with more in New York than you would in, say, New Hampshire, especially with him driving around with a gun.
It also explains why we have the best SWAT teams in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they get a lot of practice, don't they?
Yeah, we got a lot of Ted Bundy types moving up.
Yes, exactly. All right, we got to move on. If you have a comment on the show, email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com. And to leave a voicemail on my direct line, it's my favorite part. Call 212-462-5050. Love reading numbers. Still to come, the halftime report from TV's Andy Levy, a phenomenal pain in the neck.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by Waves. Those ridges are swells of varying sizes moving along the surface of a large body of water. Thanks, Waves.
Welcome back. Let's find out if we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy. What you got, Andy?
I got a question for you, Greg. You see Leno Thursday night?
Why do you ask?
Well, check this out.
Well, more and more people are now calling for Anthony Weiner to resign, but it's not all bad news. Elliot Spitzer said if Weiner does resign, he can join him on his show, and they'll call it Weiner Spitzer. So I think that...
Yeah, so?
Well, here's a tape of you from the night after Memorial Day last week.
You know what? I think he should resign. CNN will give him a job. It could be Spitzer and Weiner. Yeah. Sounds gross. Sounds gross, but it actually could work. They're two opinionated guys. Well, that's really similar, Andy.
Similar, Greg? It's pretty much the exact same joke.
I guess.
I think you more than guess, Greg.
What do you mean?
Well, let's see. A couple weeks ago, you asked if you could borrow my time machine.
So?
So do you deny that you used my time machine last week to travel into the future to steal that joke from Jay Leno?
Well,
Do you deny it, sir?
I guess you got me, Andy.
Yeah, I think you owe Mr. Leno an apology, Greg.
I'm sorry, Mr. Leno, and I'm sorry, America, for besmirching his great name.
Good for you, Greg. Now I would like my time machine back.
Well, you'll get it yesterday.
Oh, hey, before I forget, thanks for giving me back my time machine.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. 24,000 Palin emails released. Matt, you said this is a witch hunt done by liberals. To be fair, the request for these emails came during the 2008 presidential campaign when the press was trying to learn about a then little-known governor.
True.
It's just that they just happened to... It took them 3 years to
It took
release
them 3 years to get it out, but it's still
Yeah.
witch hunt. They were trying to go after something at that point to say, who is this lady, and try to find something in her background.
Well, but trying to find out about somebody is not the same as a witch hunt.
come on.
Now it seems like a witch hunt, but at the time, it was kind of like a normal request.
Oh, so the definition of witch hunt has to take 3 years, then it turns into a witch hunt.
No, the definition of a witch hunt has to be not that you're just trying to learn about a person, but that you're trying to find something bad about a person.
No, witch hunt means you're looking for witches and then you burn them at the stake. Isn't that what a witch hunt
Okay,
is?
Lieutenant Literal.
Yes. Sorry.
Anna, it is of vital importance to the Republic that we note that there is no evidence that then Governor Palin ever purchased the tanning bed that she was looking into.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Carl, you said nobody in the country could have the past 21 months of their emails made public or revealed without coming up with something, which is a fair point, but it's important to note that Palin's attorneys were given the opportunity to see if they had any privacy concerns with what was being released, and despite what Anna thinks, they didn't withhold or redact a single one.
Right, they didn't, but there's thousands of other pages that are withheld, not by the lawyers, but for other reasons.
Withheld because they were private emails.
No, there was like 5 different types of categories of reasons why they were withheld, including too personal.
Right, but her personal emails are her business. All the emails that were deemed state business were released, I believe.
Except for something that would be attorney-client privilege. There were all these different things that basically could weed out any possible scandal that there could be. Not that I'm saying there is one, but I'm basically saying you're not going to find anything because it would have already been taken out.
I feel like that is what you're saying, Anna.
It's not.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for answering that, Carl.
Yeah, no problem, Andy. It's a cogent
Sorry.
response, wasn't it?
I feel on the defensive today.
John, you brought up Sizzling, and
Yes.
Greg said he doesn't think they make that anymore, and you said they did. You're kind of both right. It's no longer widely available, but you can find it apparently in some wholesale establishments.
Really?
It's a delicacy.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of these establishments, a place called Southeast Wholesale Foods, has it online under the category bacon, others/miss.
It's a delicious meat.
That was
Shaving with dish.
This was a time when people actually
poor.
thought bacon was bad.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we realized it's actually God's food. It's God's eyebrow.
Yeah.
Well, no, but Sizzling was steak
Yeah.
for poor people and
Yeah.
drunks.
Yes, exactly. I only had it when I was drunk.
It's
Like
delicious.
Spam?
Yeah, it came out
Sort of
faster
like-
than it
but
went
it's
in.
frozen, and you put it in the skillet and magic.
Sure, John. The same way that
Oh, like
Spam is
steakums.
pork roast for Spanish people. What is DeVore talking about?
Sizzlings were like, right? It was like frozen meat strips.
It was delicious.
So sorry I brought this up.
Yeah.
Carl, you said
Steakums
wiener.
are good too.
good.
Gregalog from Sizzling. Can we move on to wieners?
Yes, please.
Carl, you said wiener is this close to being a sexual predator. Do you mean if there was inappropriate stuff going on with underage girls, or even if there isn't?
I'm going to have Anna answer that for me as well, if you don't mind. No, I think because he admitted that he didn't know the age of the women that he was communicating with, so that tells me that the age didn't matter. And if it happened to be about a 13-year-old, I guess that would have been okay.
That's not exactly what he said. What he said was, as far as he knew, that all these girls portrayed themselves as being of age.
As far as he knew, they
but they
portrayed
could've-
themselves. I mean, how many young people, 13, portray themselves as being 18?
Well, he actually
didn't know.
He
how
actually
old they
said
were.
that. He clearly didn't do a lot of background checking to find that out. Yeah.
Well, he's doing some background work now, though.
Yeah.